It's the Old Firm game at the weekend, so there's only one place to start. Neil, how close, or otherwise, is the gap between Celtic and Rangers right now?
Well,
I want a totally unbiased answer.
There's 1 point in it at the minute in the league. I think, Steven has made significant strides already in the short space he's been. They're unbeaten. They've got a big game Thursday night in Russia, where they could qualify for the Europa group stages. Rangers were not very good, to say the least, Jeff, last season. And Brendan has done a remarkable job in terms of, one, he won the treble in his first year, went the whole season unbeaten, won another treble last year. Celtic have gone out of the Champions League, which is a blow, but they still have quality right through the team. What Steven's done is he's built a really good spine of the team, and McGregor, experience. Golson and Kadic have come in at centre-half. Scott Arfield's come in. Ryan Jack's having a good start this season. And he's brought in Kel Lafferty, who knows this fixture very, very well. Started the season well, and Morelos, he's a goal scorer. So, it's Celtic at home. You'd have to say they would be strong favourites, but certainly the gap in terms of players and quality of players on the pitch is definitely closing.
What do we think that almost the subplot of the two managers adds to the fixture?
Well, I think it's certainly brought a lot more interest from a wider audience. I think the fact that Steven Gerrard's gone north, and the fact clearly that they have history. Steven played for Brendan at Liverpool and coincided with the end of his career. There's a lot of speculation about how good or bad their relationship is, but I mean, I think ultimately they're going to respect each other as rivals. I think my guess is there's a lot of respect between the two of them, basically.
Does that always happen in the Old Firm derby, in your experience, from what you've seen, Danny? Respect between the managers?
Well, no, I think you always get a couple of lunatics. Do you know what? There's a fine balance, isn't there? Because I do think Brendan's a calm kind of guy. I think Stevie will probably try his best to keep a lid on it as an influence to the players. It's hard in a game. I haven't played in it.
It gets to you eventually.
I was going to say, the passion. No, but it's passion. It's your care.
It's not just, and
it's
so much more subplots.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the build-up.
But I do believe this, and this ain't a criticism of you. Well, it is. If your manager behaves continually like an idiot on the sidelines and picking fights...
Whoa,
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm saying managers who do it constantly, I think it allows the players to behave badly. There's a way you have to conduct yourself. The problem is in a game like this, which I haven't played in, the enormity of it, it's hard to keep a lid on it if things aren't going your way.
But I totally disagree with that. You know, we have you're talking about Jurgen Klopp, right? Who's very animated on the touchline.
Yeah.
A lot of managers are very animated on the touchline.
But he's not picking fights.
Martin O'Neill is.
He's celebrating goals.
Yeah, but it depends on what's going on. There's a lot of one-upmanship going on in these games behind the scenes.
You let Ali McCoy get in your head, didn't you?
We'd already won the game. The game was over. And they had 3 sent off, and we had none. So our disciplinary record in those games was very, very good. Some managers are quite cool, calm and collected. It doesn't really matter. What matters is the result at the end of the day.
Yeah. No, I agree with
And it does get to you. You know, sometimes you see the masks slipping, whereas I like to be just up there and open about it. Some people are quite calm, but all of a sudden you see the dark arts coming out. It's great. It's great. It's great drama. It's great theatre. It's great entertainment, and it's a great fixture.
I think there'll be a few Hibs fans watching this saying, hang on, if you look at the table right now, we're tucked in nicely. Why aren't you talking up our chances?
Well, we've started the season really well. You know, we had a decent run in Europe for where we are. We had a great season last year. Delighted with, finished 4th with 67 points. Almost finished 2nd. Played some great football. We've lost a big player in John McGinn to Villa, but we think we've done okay in the transfer market so far. We may try and bring another one in. But the style of football is very pleasing, and we're getting full houses. So I'm really enjoying my work there.
So regardless of that table, for you, is it still between those two?
It'll be between the big two. They've got the bigger resources and the strength and depth.
I've heard Hearts are looking at Mourinho if he walks out of United.
They've started great as well.
Yeah, they have.
Can you imagine? I can't see anyone past Celtic. And the way Brendan's handled things over the 2 years he's been there has been fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully the game will live up to expectations, but, I mean, it's a fantastic occasion, isn't it?
You've got to go and experience one. I don't know if you've been.
Yeah.
It is awesome. You know, the colour, it's still raw. You know, it's a throwback. The noise, the energy, the tempo of the games, and obviously the result. You know, when you lost the game, you didn't go out of the house for 3 or 4 days as a player and certainly as a manager. And when you won it as a manager, the first emotion you felt more than anything was relief, Ollie, where you just go, whew.
Ollie, this early in his tenure, how significant would be a Rangers victory for Steven Gerrard?
I think it'd be hugely significant for him. I mean, it would. It's like when a player scores in a derby, or I don't know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scored goals for United against Liverpool, and those goals can make or break a player. Same thing with Gerrard. I think the Gerrard thing's fascinating because a lot of people, I think, possibly without knowledge of the situation, thought he was on to a loser, and that it was a brave move, that he'd been a bit rash. But I think already you can see signs of him maybe doing stuff that is closing the gap, and maybe actually it's starting to look like quite a smart move in that, as you said, they were very bad last season, can probably only get better. They can only get closer. I do think that Rodgers doesn't get the credit he deserves.
No.
I think he's done a phenomenal job up there, and I think, you know, Celtic are a formidable operation.
I must tell you, sorry for interrupting, the psychology of this game is huge, and the fallout is huge. You win it, all of a sudden the narrative change, everything goes in your favour. You know, the feel-good factor, momentum. If you lose it, you've got a bit of making up to do and a bit of catching up to do with the supporters.
It's also great for the Scottish football, though, isn't it? I mean, I remember as a kid watching the Celtic Rangers games. They were amazing. Some of the best games I watched in a season.
Is it more of a... Sorry, Danny.
Sorry, I was going to say, just missing it. It's been horrible not having it, hasn't it?
Do you think, then, it's more of a dare not lose than a must win, or is it a must win?
For Steven or for both?
Either.
I think that's a good question. I think
Stevie would take a draw.
I think they're all must-win games, but I think the moral high ground would be taken if Steven got a draw, you know, and psychologically it would give the Rangers fans a huge lift. If they lose, then all that early season encouragement and feel-good factor goes, and Celtic take control.